Everyone wants a luxury SUV that feels bulletproof, but the ones that actually deliver, nobody's buying them. And that's a shame, because these 5 hidden gems can save you thousands and spare you a world of headaches. Stick around, because we're going to count down these 5 luxury rides, and the number 3 on this list is the kind of quiet legend dealers hope you never discover. If you want a luxury SUV that quietly outperforms the big German names in long-term reliability, the 3rd-gen Acura MDX is the one most shoppers overlook. J.D. Power and Consumer Reports have consistently ranked these years as some of the most dependable 3-row luxury crossovers in North America, yet used car lots still price them far below what they're truly worth. And that's exactly why it's criminally good. Under the hood, you get a 3.5-liter V6 with around 290 horsepower, paired to a 6-speed automatic that's far smoother and tougher than the 9-speed that came later. Fuel economy hovers in the mid-20s on the highway, which is impressive for a roomy 3-row. The ideal buyer? Someone who wants premium comfort without the German maintenance surprise, a family hauler that ages gracefully, and a driving feel that's more athletic than people expect. Pros are easy. Legendary Honda Acura durability, an interior that wears slowly, super predictable handling, an SHAWD that still puts power down like it has something to prove. Cons? The infotainment system is dated, the dual-screen layout can be clunky, and road noise is slightly higher than its European rivals. Known issues include early wear on front strut mounts, sticky fuel injectors on high-mileage units, and, occasionally, a failing idle stop system sensor. None of these are budget killers, but they're worth checking. Inspection tip: listen for front-end clunks during low-speed turns, verify maintenance records for regular transmission fluid changes, and make sure the timing belt service was done if mileage is high. The sweet spot is the mid-cycle refresh, usually priced between $15,000 and $20,000 depending on miles and condition. And if you think this one is underrated, wait until you see the next luxury SUV, because it's a European sleeper that's shockingly reliable when you buy the right years. If there's a luxury SUV that deserves way more love than it gets, it's the 2nd-gen Volvo XC60. People assume European luxury means pricey repairs, but this one breaks the stereotype. Reliability scores from major U.S. institutes improved dramatically with this generation, thanks to Volvo's shift towards simpler, modular engines and far more robust electronics. Yet, because shoppers chase German badges, the XC60 slips under the radar as one of the smartest buys in the segment. You get a 2-liter turbo 4 making around 250 horsepower in the T5, or a punchier 316 horses in the T6, thanks to the twin-charge setup. Both run through an 8-speed automatic that feels crisp but never harsh, and highway fuel economy lives in the upper 20s, which is almost shocking for something this classy. The ideal buyer? Someone who wants a quiet, minimalist cabin that feels like a Scandinavian living room, appreciates safety tech that actually works, and prefers calm confidence over flashy drama. Pros stack up quickly. The seats are famously comfortable, the ride is plush without becoming floaty, the Bowers & Wilkins audio, if equipped, is unreal, and the pilot assist system remains one of the most natural, semi-autonomous aids in the price range. But there are quirks. The Sensus infotainment can lag, the portrait touchscreen takes getting used to, and early builds sometimes had software hiccups after updates. Known issues are generally mild, occasional oxygen sensor failures, stiff door seals that squeak in cold weather, and rare coolant leaks on higher mileage T6 models. Inspection tips: cycle through every safety feature to ensure no calibration warnings pop up, check for smooth engagement from a stop to rule out early transmission adaptations, and listen for light suspension creaks over speed bumps, which often point to worn end links. The sweet spot pricing usually ranges from $22,000 to $30,000 depending on trim and miles, shockingly low for something this polished and safe. Alright, quick pause. Grab your phone, hit subscribe, and tell me in the comments which city you're watching from. It helps the channel way more than you think, and it keeps videos like this coming your way. And if you think the Volvo is a refined sleeper, the next SUV flips the script completely. It's a rugged luxury machine everyone forgot existed, but reliability experts keep waving it like a bright red flag, saying buy this one before people catch on. If luxury SUVs had a secret society of overbuilt tanks, the Lexus GX460 would be the president, treasurer, and security detail all at once. It's wild how few buyers consider it, especially when US reliability institutes repeatedly place it near the top of long-term dependability charts. Maybe it's because it looks old school. Maybe it's because people assume body-on-frame luxury means terrible gas mileage and stop there. But for anyone who wants a plush ride that can also survive the apocalypse, the GX is criminally underappreciated. Power comes from a 4.6-liter V8, making around 301 horsepower, and paired to a 6-speed automatic that's about as dramatic as a cup of chamomile tea. It just works. Fuel economy sits in the mid-teens, but the trade-off is a drivetrain that feels carved from granite. The ideal buyer? Someone who values durability over digital gimmicks, plans to keep the SUV for a decade or two, needs true off-road capability, or just wants a luxury truck that doesn't act like a diva when the road gets ugly. Pros are massive. Rock-solid reliability, hydraulic KDSS suspension that keeps the ride stable, one of the smoothest V8s ever bolted into an SUV, and a cabin that ages slowly and quietly. Cons? The infotainment feels ancient, third-row space is comically tight, and the tailgate swings out sideways, annoying in tight parking spots. Known issues are surprisingly light. Some models develop cracked exhaust manifolds, KDSS accumulators may squeak or clunk over time, and the paint on certain exterior trim pieces can fade under harsh sun. But mechanically, this thing is a fortress. When inspecting, focus on the suspension. Drive over uneven pavement with windows cracked open and listen for clunks that might point to KDSS wear. Check for coolant seepage around the water pump, a normal maintenance item but worth verifying, and confirm tire wear is even. Misalignment on these trucks can mask worn control arm bushings. Sweet spot pricing usually ranges from $24,000 to $35,000 depending on miles and condition. Feeling like the GX is unbeatable? Wait until the next one, because it's a quiet Japanese luxury SUV that drives like a mini limousine and has reliability scores the Germans can only dream of. The Infiniti QX60 is one of those luxury SUVs people walk past because they think they already know the story. Isn't that just another Nissan with leather? Not quite. In fact, US Reliability Institutes consistently rate the mid-teens to 2020 models as above average, especially after Infiniti refined the powertrain tuning and electrical systems. And because the badge doesn't carry the same hype as Lexus or BMW, prices stay far lower than the real-world value. That's exactly why this thing is a hidden steal. Under the hood sits a 3.5-liter V6 with roughly 260 horsepower. It's paired to a continuously variable transmission, normally a scare word for many buyers, but Infiniti's later revisions made it sturdier, smoother, and far less failure-prone than early versions. Fuel economy stays in the low to mid-20s, which is solid for a roomy, comfortable 3-row. The ideal buyer? Someone who wants plush, highway comfort, strong safety scores, a quiet cabin, and a luxury SUV that doesn't require premium brand maintenance prices to stay healthy. The pros come quickly. The ride is genuinely serene, interior materials feel warmer and more inviting than many rivals, and the steering is light without being vague. Families love it because the second row slides enough to allow third row access even with a child seat installed, a small feature that becomes a big deal in real life. But let's stay honest, the QX60 has its quirks. The CVT can feel lazy when pushed hard, the infotainment is dated, and handling isn't sporty. Known issues include worn timing chain guides on higher mileage earlier years, occasional CVT cooler leaks, and malfunctioning door lock actuators. None are catastrophic when caught early. Inspection tips? Take a long test drive and feel for any slipping or delayed response from the CVT. Smooth is good, rubber band sensation is not. Check for coolant stains near the radiator support, make sure all power features work without hesitation, and listen for subtle front suspension rattles over bumps, which often point to worn end links or bushings. The sweet price bracket usually sits between $16,000 and $28,000, depending on mileage and trim. Shockingly attainable for something this polished and reliable. But don't get too comfortable, because the next SUV brings a twist. It's German, it's gorgeous, and when you pick the right years, it's way more dependable than the stereotypes suggest. The second-gen Audi Q5 is the luxury SUV everyone assumes will be expensive to maintain until they learn the right years are shockingly reliable. US Reliability Institutes started bumping its dependability ratings once. Audi refined the 2-liter turbo engine, updated the cooling system, and stabilized the electronics that plagued earlier models. Because shoppers still fear the badge, prices stay softer than Mercedes or BMW equivalents, making the Q5 a premium bargain hiding in plain sight. Power comes from a 2-liter turbo 4 pushing around 248 horsepower, paired with a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox that shifts quickly but behaves smoothly once warm. Fuel economy lands in the upper 20s on the highway. The ideal buyer? Someone who wants German driving feel without German repair drama, appreciates tight steering and a planted chassis, and loves an interior that looks like it was designed with a ruler and a glass of fine whiskey. Pros stack up fast, one of the best balanced rides in the segment, a cabin that feels expensive even after years of use, sharp LED lighting, and Quattro that keeps the SUV glued to the road in all weather. The tech is clean and intuitive, especially the virtual cockpit, which still feels futuristic. Cons? Rear legroom is only decent, maintenance isn't as cheap as Japanese rivals, and the dual clutch can feel hesitant in stop-and-go traffic. Known issues include water pump seepage on higher mileage units, occasional wastegate rattle on the turbo, and failing thermostats, none of which are catastrophic if addressed promptly. Inspection tips. Start the engine cold and listen for any metallic ticking near the turbo area. Take a slow drive through a parking lot to feel for low-speed gearbox shutter, and cycle every electronic feature since Audi loves hiding gremlins behind convenience buttons. Also check for uneven tire wear. Misalignment is common on used German crossovers. Sweet spot pricing usually ranges from $25,000 to $38,000 depending on miles and options. And now that all 5 luxury sleepers are on the table, you're ready to build a shortlist that's smarter and often cheaper than what most buyers even consider. Ready for your outro or any adjustments? So there it is. 5 luxury SUVs that are criminally good, wildly dependable, and somehow still ignored by most buyers. If you want comfort without chaos, engineering without ego, and long-term value the big brands don't advertise, these models should be at the top of your list. And hey, if this helped you dodge a bad buy, check out the other videos on the channel. They'll save you even more money, time, and stress on your next car hunt. See you in the next one.